Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Oh
Hello?
my god, it's working, thank God. Hello, everyone! Welcome back to Curiosity Cove. My name is Veda.
And this is your trusty captain speaking, and we were gonna be starting with the void.
But everything seems to have corrected itself.
Yeah, we had a little technical difficulties. That's why we had a little bit of a later start than we wanted. Um, we thought the background, our lovely window and trees, was gonna get nuked to the void. But it looks like
Yeah.
it worked.
It
Question?
was showing with like it I mean it's still actually showing with like an error message, but it's working, so I won't complain.
Yeah, we won't break what's not fixed,
Yeah.
and we'll fix what's
Yeah.
not broke.
Yeah.
So how's your day going?
Honestly, my entire day has been like this. It's just been things where I'm like, what is happening? How like what's going on in my life right now to where it's like Murphy's Law, like everything that can go
Yeah,
wrong will go wrong type shit all day
yeah.
for me. It's been
Has it just been like little inconveniences, or has there been like big oopsies?
no, it's just been like tiny little things, which means they all just add up, you know?
Yeah, if I kept
We'll
on
just
having
say
little things happen to me all day, at one point it would just make me break
it's just
because I'd be like,
paranoia.
"Why can't you
Yeah.
just work?"
Yeah, at that point it's literally just paranoia where I'm like, well, what's going to go wrong next?
Yeah.
How
What
about
the
you?
fuck?
How's your day?
Um, Workday was pretty good. I really can't complain. It went pretty smoothly. A little busy in the morning, but we got past that, and the peeps in at work, we were just talking and just talking about like just day-to-day things, not any inconvenience or whatnot, but just like how work has been for all of us. We do like little check-ins here and there, so I really appreciated that today. We kind of like
That's
checked in on
cute.
everybody. It is, yeah. I like initiating some of that stuff because I'd rather know how people are going throughout the week in case they need like pickups here and there, or if they needed like help if I am unable to or whatnot. So that went really good. And then got out a little late, but I wasn't too bad. Made some dinner, and now we're here. The only thing I can really say about today is it is gross
Oh my god, I
outside.
know, it's fucking terrible
The heat
out.
is awful out right now. It feels so muggy, and like I'm just getting like humidity slapped in my face.
Yeah, walking,
Yeah.
so our AC was kind of on the fritz at work today, and since it's a shop, the shop was like 104 degrees for a hot second, and then
Yeah.
they got it fixed. I don't know if it overworked itself or what happened because it balanced out eventually, but the office was fine after like 5 minutes. It was like the air kicked on and it just worked really hard.
Yeah.
But like walking out into the shop, it was like a 40 degrees like difference. It was terrible.
Yeah, you'd call it a sweatshop for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh, for sure. I don't know how honestly, I understand now why it's so important for them to start super early because
Mhm.
they like come in at like 5 or 6 in the morning or something and they stay until 2. If they
Yeah.
were in that shop when I left today, I don't they would someone would have fainted for sure.
Yeah. For sure. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad both of our days went pretty good, besides like some minor
Yeah, minor
inconveniences and
inconveniences. We'll take it.
getting out of work a little late. Yeah, we'll take little dubs like that, little W's.
Oh yeah.
Hell
Well,
yeah.
we have something really exciting for you guys today.
Yeah.
Um
Super excited for this. I have a little disclaimer in mind, so I won't go about it right now. I literally made a whole slide with a disclaimer before we continue,
It's
but
very
I'm really
funny.
excited. We get
Um,
to talk about music.
yeah, I feel
I'm so
like
excited.
I have this like kind of I guess I don't know, like path to mine if that makes
Mhm.
sense.
Yeah.
Um and because of that, it's like I'm pretty sure everything is correct, but there is a chance that maybe it's not so correct.
Yeah, I didn't really know how I wanted to format this. We have PowerPoint slides for you guys. But I know we put it as music that made me. And there's like certain bits of it where I can
Mhm.
explain how it made me, but the disclaimer explains a bit more as to why. But I just went with like, generational period, so I did, like, itty bitty Cap'n, elementary
That's
school Cap'n.
basically I did all of my, like,
Yeah.
phases. That was
Yeah, yeah,
basically what I
yeah,
did, yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
I think that was the easiest way to format it because I can't go
Mhm.
by year, it makes it a little wonky, plus I don't listen to music from, like, that same year
Yeah,
in that era. It's all I listen to music all over the place, so it
yeah,
doesn't really add up that way.
yeah, vibe. Okay, well,
Hell
I'll
yeah.
go ahead and, get us over there.
Yeah. And then we do also cubbies just for while she's taking care of that. We do also have another tech issue happening where I have streamed my PowerPoint for you guys before, and Veda's been able to select it and everything, but this time, no, we cannot. This is
I
the small
literally
inconvenience we're
I
talking about.
have a source specifically for this voice channel. And
Yeah.
so usually it's like it layers on top of everything because if it's inactive, it just doesn't show up, right? And I went
Yeah.
to go switch to it because I did the full screen and like popped into your stream and it just doesn't show up. So then I was like, okay, well maybe Discord changed something. So I'll just go manually select it. It is an option. It shows that it is selected. It will not show up on OBS. So either
Yeah.
Discord changed something or OBS changed something, but we'll have to figure it out for next time. It's never been an issue before.
Yeah, so then I'm just gonna say after I go over my slide, I'll just say next slide, please. And then
Yeah,
that's what's happening. Why do I have to tell her that? Because it's
vibe.
yeah, the tech is on the fritz, okay? But we
Yeah,
got there for you guys. We got the
yeah.
visuals.
I got
So
you.
here's my lovely slide. It's music that made me, well, things I remember to the best of my ability because I definitely feel like I'm missing bits and pieces, but it's not the worst. I feel like I covered my like greater picture of what I could remember. I feel like if I didn't remember it, then it must not have been as impactful. So I took that as a W.
Yeah, vibe.
Yeah. So next slide. This is my disclaimer. It has appeared to me that I don't really follow any bands religiously or any one singer. I like to listen just about anything and everything, except my big two are like no-nos are screamo. Anything that has a lot of screaming in it, I can't. Like the like throat singing or
Yeah.
some parts, I can't.
Man, our
Heavy rap that I
PowerPoints are gonna be
can't.
so different.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, and I know it will be. If I like it and I vibe to it, it just goes into a playlist and I just categorize it by like vibe, I guess. So
Hmm.
like my Spotify has like a lovey-dovey like indie playlist. I have epic music, which is just like anything that makes me feel happy and like want to dance. And then I have rock music, I have my Disney playlist, I have my like songs that are just like I put songs in my like songs to sort them later. Like it's
Hmm.
my junk playlist, I guess if
That's
you
how
will.
I am
So I
too.
just have a whole bunch of different things and I just pick it based on the vibe. That's really all there is to it. Having said that, I hope you enjoyed this little snippet of Captain. Next slide. So,
Okay, okay.
so this is Itty Bitty Captain, and I'm talking like young elementary school and prior. So, I learned this from my mom and dad when I was like, what did I listen to when I was little? Because I can do pretty young elementary school, but prior to that, my memory is a little foggy. So, it's so funny. The, daycare where me and my brother used to go, they would play this Enya song called Only Time for when it was nap time.
Oh my god,
So,
really?
all the kids would go down, like, on their cots and whatever, and this song would play, and I distinctly remember this being, like, the song where if any
That's
child
the "Who
would hear it.
can say when"
Yes!
Yeah.
And we would pass out. Like, it
That's
was just,
so
like, a
funny.
trigger. Yeah, like, they Pavloved the fuck out of us. It was crazy. And then I was a big fan of the Wiggles. They
Fair.
had a whole bunch of different songs, and obviously, like, it's like a '90s show into the 2000s. I think when I was looking up for a picture, they kept on showing, like, nowadays the Wiggles, and I was like,
Mhm.
"No, I need the OGs, please, because I don't" kept playing up until 2022.
Really?
That's what it said online.
Well, I get Wiggles videos in my, like, Reels feed on Instagram,
Interesting.
like, current
From,
day.
like, nowadays Wiggles or,
Mhm.
like, the old ones?
No, like, nowadays.
Yeah, I thought that blew my mind. And then, this bottom right one, the hits of Ray Anthony,
Mhm.
it's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 songs in, it's called The Bunny Hop. It's
Oh, yeah.
basically like the cha-cha slide, but throw it in the '60s, and it's basically like a song that sings to you how to do the dance, and so I just remember me and my brother, my brother's 2 years younger than me for reference, we would go hang out in, like, the family room and whatnot, and my parents would blast the song, we'd say, play a bunny song," and I just remember me and my brother doing the dance as we hopped around in a circle, and it was the funnest thing ever, like, they probably got so sick of it because we probably asked them to do it a million times. But banger. I can't believe it was I actually didn't know the name, like where it came from. So finding this and hearing it again, it was like my brain just imploded. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And then the Kids Songs TV show. Have you heard of this?
No, I have not. But I didn't watch you'll see on my, like, itty bitty Veda equivalent slide, like, I did
Hmm.
not my era, it was not about the Wiggles was not, like, a thing for a lot of us, like,
Hmm.
it was on a different network than the networks that were popular in my area or
Yeah.
something, like, a lot of kids at my school weren't like, we didn't do Kids Bop very often, we'd like, nothing, so
Yeah. So so this was a show that the daycare used to put on for us, and it was a bunch on VHS for reference.
oh, for sure.
And it would we would pick different ones. They were all like each show was like I don't even know, like 20 minutes long, 20, 30 minutes, and it was just of songs. So, the Down by the Bay song, the Down by the Bay where the watermelons grow, that is from this. Like, they made a whole visual for it. They had like it was like the Barney show, but like for songs. So they had a bunch of kids and like adults on there singing the old nursery rhymes and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
I like watched a couple of these just to make sure I had the right show to put it on here for you guys. But, oh my god, it was all over this, and I, like, was having so many flashbacks of, like, listening to it, watching it, all that jazz, and then I had to put, of course, Kids Bop. Kids Bop 10 was a banger. I re-listened to it while I was doing this as well, and it was just like, I had all the Kids Bop, from, like, Kids Bop, like, flat out, like, no number, to I think I stopped around Kids Bop, like 25 or something.
Holy crap.
But not, like, every single one. We, like, jumped around because I didn't like all the songs on it, but, like, I had all them on CDs, and I had a little boombox downstairs, and I would open up the CD tray, drop it in, and I would just blast this downstairs. It was a vibe. I loved it so much. But this is Itty Bitty Captain from, like, I wanna say, like, 1st or 2nd grade and younger.
Honestly, I didn't know that Kids Bop went for that long.
Kids Bop is still going on. Let me look it up for you right now.
Yeah, what number
Kids
are they
Bop?
on?
Um, oh my god, they have their own .com? That's crazy. Maybe it wasn't 25 because it just says 53 is right now. It was probably like 20s then. I need to look this
Wow.
up. I'm gonna look up Kids Bop release order and I'm gonna fucking look through all of these while you're doing your little snippet. This is crazy. I'm
Okay,
gonna do some
yeah.
research. But going on for the next slide, I do have elementary school captain,
Okay.
and I'm so excited. So
Kids Bop
obviously
stayed?
Kids Bop continued. Yes, it did. It continued quite a while. And so then up on the top right, I have the Don't Mind at Night. I This is when Minecraft came out in 2008 or something like that.
Yeah.
And so all the Minecraft parodies came out, especially with Captain Sparkles and all that jazz. So
Yeah.
he was releasing all those songs and I was like,
Wait,
"Oh my god."
2008, you were still in elementary school?
Yeah.
God, I'm so old.
No, no, no. 2008 would have been what? That would have been I can't do the math right now. I can't even figure out what grade. But basically, we would jam out to the Minecraft parodies and we'd sing them as we played Minecraft, and it was so much fun. That also goes into Ducky of Awesome. That's why they have a ducky there. Instead of everyone saying ducky, everyone said ducky. So basically, it's parodies of, I want to say it was like 90s and 2000s songs, and it was two dudes, and they would just make the stupidest parodies ever. I can show you one after podcast, so I
Yeah,
can
I would
show
love to
you.
hear it.
I got you. There's two that are my all-time fave, and I listen to them randomly if I just need a good giggle. And so those are all bangers, a bunch of parodies and stuff. And then on the left, um, I liked listening to like all the like early 2000s. So like Jesse McCartney was huge, like big crush on everybody. I guess it would be late 2000s,
Yeah.
excuse me. Kelly Clarkson was such a babe. I remember the first time I watched her music video, it was Behind These Hazel Eyes, and I watched the
Yeah.
music video and I was like, "Oh my God,
I remember
she's such a
watching her
baddie."
win American Idol.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
crazy. I've always been a Kelly Clarkson stan. I'm not gonna
Mhm.
lie.
Yeah,
I
she
love it.
won. I was in American Idol came out and everybody I was in 5th grade, and so everybody in my grade was, like, obsessed with watching American Idol, and there were, like, so many
Mhm.
girls who were like, "I'm gonna be on it one day," and, like, I don't think anybody from my school ever went on, so we were all liars, but we were all obsessed with Kelly Clarkson when she was on it, and then when she won, we were like, "Oh my god, she's gonna be, like, huge." So then for my 5th grade graduation, we
Mhm.
sang Breakaway.
Big up. That's
Yeah.
also another banger song.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So I've always just been a stan of her. I loved all her music, all of them. And then that's when the Jonas Brothers was kicking off and like doing awesome things. And then that's where like all the Disney love came in. So speaking of that, the next slide is I needed a Disney music break because Disney became,
Oh my god.
oh yeah. Disney was like everything. So I've always been a big fan of Disney. I've loved all their music and everything. So I had to do a little music break because it's throughout my entire life. So I did it right in the middle of everything because I just didn't know where specifically to leave it. But I've always just had the same playlist. I would look up like I would rewatch movies over and over just to hear the music, or like I would um find the YouTube videos of just the song in particular. And so I just had to give some honorable mentions of all these amazing songs, and just Disney means so much throughout my life because it's always like a stability thing, and like if I find comfort in rewatching their films and just all the characters and the singing. And speaking of, I recently rewatched the old Sleeping Beauty, and which doesn't have like any like heavy musical numbers, but there are some songs in it. But I really can appreciate that the I love the old school, like I can't even say like 80s, 90s, because some of them, like Sleeping Beauty was back in like the 50s. So like 50s and 60s, they always had those like old school watercolor backgrounds. Lady and the Tramp has it too. So like all these ones I actually have on the screen don't really show that. But I love all the old ones. And when they use music to convey like nature or like a sound that's happening, I miss it so much from all the like new age Disney junk. So I love my oldies but goodies. There are some bangers from new Disney, but I appreciate all these ones specifically.
Yeah. I
All
mean,
right,
we know
next
how
one.
I feel about the song on Treasure Planet.
Yeah, literally, Google
Oh
Dolls are
my
amazing.
god, no. I have not thought about one of these albums in a long time.
So I didn't know again where I wanted to put specific songs or anything, so I just went for album covers that I knew I could talk about.
This
So
is so wait, I cannot wait for you to see my presentation.
yeah.
Sometimes we are so the same person.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So in middle school, that was when Part of Rock Anthem came out. I think. At least that's when it was really big. And that's also when Gangnam Style came out as well.
Oh, yeah.
So So that was just like every kid wanted to learn how to do the dances, like the dances that
Uh-huh.
everybody could know, like Soldier Boy, Cha Cha Slide, Cupid Shuffle, Party Rock Anthem Shuffling, like all that stuff.
Yeah.
So those were huge during middle school. I just remember it just being insane. And then I always liked Nicki Minaj during this era. Absolutely amazing. Katy Perry's Teenage Dream and like California Girl album was fire. Maroon 5 was pretty big. Avril Lavigne is like I want to say late 2000s like queen. Like
Literally.
oh, just beautiful. And then
It's so
obviously Black Eyed
funny.
Peas is a banger.
Avril Lavigne to me is like the bookend of the 2000s because early
Yeah.
2000s she was huge. And then she
Uh-huh.
kind of disappeared for a while and then she came back end of the 2000s with The Best Damn Thing and that album slapped so hard.
This album is fire. Like
Mhm.
every song on here I'm like, "Jesus, why
I'll
did I
always
like
be an old Avril lover. Under My Skin is like my shit, but I
Mhm.
love like her first 3 albums so much.
Yeah. I also realized that I mean, I can recognize a song once I hear it, but sometimes I'm a little faulty on the name. But I, having had Spotify for a couple years now, scrolling through and the song name is paired with the album it came from next to it, I'm so much better at figuring out the album because it's a picture
Yeah.
than looking at the name. And so all these
Yeah,
were
it gives you
super
like the
easy for me to
visual.
find because I've seen and listened to the songs that have this
Yeah.
picture. And I just realized, God, I'm such a visual person. God
Also,
damn.
can I tell you something that's gonna fill your heart with joy?
Yeah.
This era, if you were to play some of these artists for Grub, he would
Yeah.
go ham. Me and him sang all of Animals, like, by Kesha's album together in
Really?
Discord one night. Yes. And it gave me so much life. He also will rap along with Nicki Minaj. It's amazing. We had a girly
Oh my
pop
God, I
night, and
love
it was
Grubs. What the
incredible. I
fuck?
know.
Oh my God, I love him. But yeah, this is like my peak era. I feel like I always come back to my throwback album, which has
Yeah.
these songs and like early high school era. And so these are like my ride or dies. I'm not gonna lie. I come back to
I'm
these and I just
trying
listen to them and
to
I'm like, oh, I just
remember
love.
the Jason Derulo song that I was obsessed with as a kid.
I like solo.
I feel like I would have to go look at his discography. There was a Jason Derulo song that I put on a mixtape because my gym teacher would let us make mix CDs to play during our running days. And
Banger.
I always tried to slip in, like, instead of doing like, oh God, I can't even remember, but like, the Punk Goes albums?
Mm,
It was
not
like
off the
they would have like
name.
Punk Goes Pop or Punk Goes Hip Hop or whatever.
Oh yeah,
I would
yeah,
I
yeah,
would
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
try to use those in place of like pop songs on the album, and so I got away with it because like we were listening to like, the quote unquote like emo version of some pretty big pop songs.
Mhm.
But there was a Jason Derulo song that I was like, no, I'm just straight up putting this on here because I like it. And I wish I could remember what it was because I jammed the fuck out. And my friends who would like knew I was making the CD, they were like, you put this song on here? And I was like, yes, because it's a jam.
Were they judgy because they didn't think it was a jam?
No, they were just so shocked at the fact that I liked a pop song.
Yeah. Oh, that's fair.
Yeah.
Ugh, he has some good bangers from the 2000s though,
He has
or in
some good
early
bangers
2010s.
recently too.
I don't think I've listened to any like recent Jason Derulo songs, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel like it would have came out in 2010, so it's probably off that album. But I
Well,
don't
you're
know
gonna
what it
have to do a
was.
deep dive.
Yeah, gonna have to go look.
All right, next one.
Next slide. Oh, hell yeah.
So this was when Imagine Dragons was getting big, the early 2010s. Ariana Grande was popping off with so many albums, so many songs. I feel like this was like peak, like 2016, 2017. No, 2016 specifically. I want to say it was like a really peak year for her. Panic! At the Disco, I became a really big fan of. I got to see them live, especially with BTS, which I put right next to them. Um, I got to go see both of them
Wait.
live. Absolutely
Oh,
amazing.
separate times though, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah. Is
Like
it
separate years.
this is the BTS show that we ended up both being at the same time? No, this would have been later, right?
This was
That
the same one, but we were on the different days.
different days, right?
Yeah.
God, you were
So,
in high school? That's so crazy.
yeah, that
That's
was
so
my
insane to
junior
think
year of high
about.
school.
Oh my god. I'm old.
Yeah. And then I got really big into my Michael Jackson era. I
Hell
just
yeah.
deep dived on all of his songs, learned a lot about him, just like useless trivia junk, but like I find it super fascinating. And then David Guetta was in fucking everything, collabing on everything.
Yeah. I love that
Nick
album.
Jonas went separate. That album's fire.
I
Like
know. All
looking
the
at all
songs
the
are I
collab songs,
love
I'm like,
David Guetta.
dude.
I love David Guetta so much, but I'm very into he used to be like the closest to I think EDM that I used to get because I wasn't big on
Exactly.
EDM.
Yeah.
And yeah, he set the tone for I think when I eventually did get into it.
Yeah, I also agree. I feel like his beats are kind of on par with it. They're just not as heavy as EDM,
Mhm. Because they're very
which I like. I like a more
housey.
softer
Yeah,
one.
I think you're like me. It's the house music is better than like dubstep and trap and all that.
I found I actually don't like house music.
Really?
Yeah, like
David
Tank has
Guetta
shown me a couple house songs,
oh, but it
and
depends
I
what type of house. Because
okay, so
David
then you have to
Guetta
show me some because I
yeah,
don't
David
like
Guetta
them.
is house music, but he's like a different type of house than say like Rufus Du Sol or like other
Mm.
groups.
Well, then I'll have to compare and contrast because from the couple songs he sent me, I'm like, I don't know if I like
I'll slide
this.
you some of my I listen to a lot of future bass and deep house and you might like some of that. Future bass is huge in K-pop. So if you like the
Mm.
music behind K-pop,
Yeah.
like you might like future bass.
Oh, big up, big
Yeah.
up. And then I do like Train. I love Train. It's my mom's favorite band as well, so
Hey,
I just
soul
love all of his
sister.
songs, literally. Lady Gaga was popping off in this era too. I just know 2013 was Applause, 2013, 2014.
Yeah.
So that got released. So I guess I just listened to like oh, and then K-pop came around like 2014. So
Yeah.
that was I just deep dive into like so many different things. Like looking up these
Yeah.
albums and stuff, I looked through so many different genres, different artists and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
that. And I
yeah.
was just like, it's mostly like generalized, I guess you could say as pop. But
Mhm.
yeah, I didn't really get into rock until like late high school, early college, I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun.
But these are like I love all of these. And this is when like the Jonas Brothers like disbanded like a while ago, but then Nick Jonas was coming out and then Joe Jonas went with DNCE, so there's all that jazz.
Mhm.
All right, and then the next one. I had to do some honorable mentions
That
because
this is so funny. Oh my god, sometimes we are so the same person. Continue.
I wanted to do before my last slide, which is like what I'm
Now.
listening to now.
Yeah.
I obviously had to make a really big album for Mambo Number Five because
Yeah.
everybody loves Mambo
Yeah.
Number Five. Like
Little
it's
bit of Monica in my
amazing.
life. Yeah, little yeah.
Literally, I had to put obviously the Cha Cha Slide and the Cupid Shuffle because those are amazing like dance songs that you do with anybody because everybody
Mhm.
would just like know the dances and it's not too
Yeah.
like too crazy. The reason why there's a WWE symbol up there is because in uh mid elementary school era, me and my friends really got into WWE around like the 2007 2008 era
Girl,
esque.
holy shit.
Yeah, so
Literally,
I'm like
wait, so you're talking like Edge versus Mick Foley cage
yeah,
match WrestleMania 22?
yeah,
Yeah, me too.
yeah, that I swear to God, and I'll die on this hill, that is the best
That's the best
WWE
era.
era
Yeah,
ever.
that was the from the point
And that's when
I
Cena
want
was
to
still young
say,
too,
yes, from
with the
like
Undertaker and Brock Lesnar.
2004
My
to
God,
2008 was
peak.
undeniably the peak of the WWE.
Yes, I agree.
100%.
So why it's on here is because everybody had an opening song.
Correct.
And me and my buddies thought it was hilarious or a useless skill where if we heard just the first 5 seconds of a song, it would be quicker if you could pause it fast enough to guess what WWE superstar is coming out. And we got so good at it. We could hear like the first
Yeah.
beat and we'd be like, it's Cena, or
Yeah,
like
for
it's
sure.
Randy Orton, or all
Well,
that jazz. And
and
oh
it's
my
so
God.
funny too because like they would come out with, do you remember WWE Reckless Intent? Where they would
Yes,
come
yes, yes,
out
yeah.
with like the compilation CD of like all of the big name like openers and stuff.
Yeah.
I used to buy that shit all the time. And like
They're banger songs. Why would you
the
not?
soundtracks for like SmackDown versus Raw, specifically SmackDown versus Raw 2K7 has one of the best video game soundtracks for like a sports game ever.
Yeah. Oh, amazing era.
Yeah,
Love. And
incredible.
I put America's Got Talent on here because Kelly Clarkson number 1. But number
Vibe.
2, I have found like high school-ish, I want to say.
Mhm.
I just would randomly go down weird rabbit holes of cuz I watched America's Got Talent like as I grew up, but I would just randomly go back and rewatch some that like I remember the person's face like cuz I would check the thumbnail and I'd be like, "Oh my god, I want to re-listen to that one," because they sang it so well.
Right.
So, randomly throughout the years, I would deep dive on like X Factor, America's Got Talent, American Idol,
The
and I would just
Voice,
randomly
yeah.
listen to them because I just liked how they sang it.
Yeah. It's funny because like so a girl that I kind of knew, I we ran in the same like music scene, but I wouldn't
Mhm.
like we weren't friends or anything. She was on The Voice and she made it pretty freaking far.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was on, actually she might have won it. I can't remember. But because of that, when she was like when she said, "Yeah, I'm going to be on it," me and my mom were like, "Oh, well, we have to watch it to support." And we got so addicted, and then I got addicted to like all of them. So like
Yeah. It starts with
American
1, bro.
Idol,
It starts with
yes.
1.
And it's gateway because I got into American Idol when I was young, but then like that kind of died out because the artists that were winning weren't really showing up all that much. Like you had Kelly Clarkson and Daughtry, and then um the guy who won on the 2nd season, because I think Daughtry was 3rd or something like that. Those 3 were, like, fine, and
And
then
Adam Lambert
after
got snubbed.
Adam Lambert, that's what it was, yeah, like, he just got, like, no radio play whatsoever, and so we were
Mhm.
kinda like, "Well, I guess this is dead then," and we just moved on, and so, like, everyone stopped watching it, like, in my area. But
Mhm.
then, yeah, I got into The Voice, I got into America's Got Talent, I got into X Factor, I started watching, like, Britain's Got Talent too
I was
when
gonna
it
say
started,
Across the
yeah.
Pond, like, you gotta
Yeah,
check out
literally,
those.
literally, and I get into the same rabbit holes where, like, sometimes even now, like, I'll go watch compilations of, like, 10 times judges were surprised by blah, blah, blah.
Exactly, or like Golden Buzzers, like, I
Yes,
love
yeah,
watching
yeah,
those.
exactly.
So, love, that's a comfort of mine, and then obviously I had to put Epic the Musical on here. It's a more recent thing, but I couldn't just put it on its own
Mhm.
because it's a banger, but it's not, like, a big moment yet, so I left it there, and then Suicide Sheep, Mr. Suicide Sheep, I listened to so many of his remixes and, like, everything on YouTube because it would always just have that logo, and then it would just be the circle, and then, like, the music bumping in the background, or, like, the background would lightly change. It was, like, my study
Yeah, but
music, if you will.
Equalizer, yeah.
Yeah, and then I love Andy Grammer. I love him to pieces. I love all of his music, and I totally forgot to put Adam Lambert on here, but Adam Lambert's another banger as well. I just love all their songs. Just it's one of those like low key things I just put on their shuffle of all
Mhm.
their songs just for that one artist, and I just hang out. And
Vibe.
they're just such a vibe, but it's not like too chaotic. It's not too different. Their music always sounds like very cohesive, and I just really appreciate them so
Yeah,
much.
vibe. All of that.
And then we got the next one. I think this is the most variability.
Oh my god, I love I Prevail. Oh my god, Skillet!
Yeah. So I want to say late high school. So I'm talking 2017, 2018. I got into a bunch of like, I call it rock. So I don't know if there's like a specific name to it, but like I got into Skillet, I Prevail, Slander. I got into EDM. I just couldn't really find any specific EDM albums. I like listen around to like a bunch of different ones. And then I put Troy on here with his Zodiac album because that was really big, but I also want to give an
Mhm.
homage to like a bunch of different indie artists. I love Daughtry. Daughtry was throughout like all my years. Absolutely love. Alex Warren has become one of my all-time favorite artists recently. Sabrina Carpenter is a banger. I got Jamie Miller, James Arthur, Matt Hansen, Callum Scott. Callum Scott was I don't remember if he was Got Talent or Idol, but he was a close winner. A Britain's Got Talent, excuse me. And then one of my favorite artists right now that I listen to his albums specifically is Jerub, the bottom left, Jerub. Um, I don't really know how to classify his vibe, but I love he's got a really raspy voice and he just sings a lot of lyrics about like finding yourself and like working through difficult things and he just hits home and I absolutely adore him.
Yeah.
And obviously a bunch of rock with I Prevail and Slander. Obviously, as I stated before, not too screamy. So like some of the songs like sound good, but when they get into that throat like screamy stuff, I just can't get with it. I just can't. So those are not in my playlist, but I still love a lot of their songs.
Mhm.
And then I did have to give some love to my country. I couldn't really pick any big artists there as well. I did Luke Combs for right now. I did see him live. I loved it, but like it's not as like visually pleasing as like a K-pop concert, so it kind of ruined
Yeah.
the rest of concerts for me.
Yeah, I get
I
that.
love me some Blake Shelton, some Kane Brown, Florida Georgia Line,
Dude, it's all
all
about
them.
Dirks Bentley or bust for me. Billy
Hell
Currington
yeah.
too, kinda actually. I love Billy Currington.
Hell yeah. I think my favorite song, if I had to pick one country song off rip, would have to be Whiskey Glasses by Morgan Wallen.
I think
I
mine's
love.
I think mine's definitely Different for Girls by Dirks Bentley. I love that
I don't have to
song.
listen to that song. Hell
It's
yeah.
so good. I'll show you after this. We'll
Big
trade some
up.
music.
And then I had to put Post Malone on there. Posty was really big during like a high school era, so
Yeah.
I just loved all his music and it's just so good to like put your windows down and just blast it as you're like driving down like a dirt road or like a back road or whatever
Yeah.
and you're just blasting his music. It's such a
I
vibe.
do love that he's so heavily influenced by country music.
Yeah, I like that he's singing around like a bunch of different genres and stuff, but
Mhm.
I have to hand it to number one, his diversity, but I loved his rap albums and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I miss this Posty a
For
lot,
sure, me too.
but I love what he's going to and what he's up to. So that's enough for me to support him. So but that is the rest of me. I feel like nowadays, again, it's a toss up. I just listen to whatever I vibe with. This, what you're looking at, is probably the most diverse of what I listen to. Again, I have my like indie love playlist that has like a whole bunch of like heartfelt songs in there. That one's probably my most on shuffle listen to. Oh, I should have put my Spotify wrapped in here. That would have been cool.
Oh, that would have been a
Um
good idea if we had
like,
gone
at
with it.
the end, just look at it.
Except, yeah, except mine is always so diluted because there's always that like one album or two albums that I get like so addicted to that they
Yeah.
end up taking up like 20 out of the 100 spots. And I'm like, well, but I listen to more than this. Like,
Yeah, mine's, like, all over the place, but it would mostly be, like, different, like, indie artists and stuff, and I love that. I love being able to say that. So, that's all I have for you guys for music that made me, but again, I don't really know if I can say if it made me in respect to I did listen to a lot of music, but always felt like I didn't listen to enough music where it impacted me as much as I'm a movie person.
right.
So movies and TV shows and bonding to characters through visual like stuff like TV shows and movies, but I also bonded a lot with book characters. So I was a really big like avid book reader from like elementary school to like early college years. So I felt like visual aids like that I bonded to more than auditorily.
Yeah.
So I do say these songs made me, and I do absolutely adore music, but it's not as impactful as if you go back and watch the episode where we did movies that made me.
Right.
Those mean more to me personally.
Yeah, and I think that's understandable.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. It's cool to see kind of like earlier on what you were listening to. I feel like a lot of it makes sense as to how it shaped like your music taste today.
Yes, that I
Yeah.
will say. It has shaped my music taste going through the years, but I really can't say that like it made me who I am.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
also
fair.
did some research on Kids Bop before we jump into your area.
Mhm.
So the original Kids Bop released in October 9th, 2001, and then Kids Bop 53 just released on May 8th,
Holy shit.
2026. So I'm gonna say I stopped. Yeah, that'll have been about right. Around the 18th or 20th Kids Bop was probably where it had died for me.
So yeah, they pop out one every like 6 months or so.
Yeah, looks like it.
Wow, that's insane to me.
Yeah,
Hell yeah. Okay,
it's
well,
crazy.
I can now take you guys down a different route.
Yeah.
So, uh, I don't have a disclaimer page, but I will give a vocal disclaimer. I studied music. It is very difficult for me to really like nail down what I think were like favorites or what actually influenced me because at any given time I was listening to, 12 to 15 different artists and albums across so many different genres. So, what I did was I picked out my phases because every once in a while I would go through a phase where it would be all I would listen to was this type of music. And
Mhm.
I figure that means that I latched on to that genre for some reason. Um
Mhm.
or that vibe for some reason. So that's kind of how I decided to go through it. I will have honorable mentions that I will probably call out for these eras, but more than likely anything that I was listening to on repeat is included in the slide.
Of course.
So, starting out, the music my parents played in the car. Um, yeah. So, I throughout the entire thing you're going to see I grew up in the time of MySpace, so as an ode to it, I have my top 8 for every slide.
I haven't thought about Millennium in fucking ages.
I
That just threw me
know.
back so hard.
When I was a child, as far back as I can remember, my parents would be in the car and they would try to my mom specifically, she would try to play music that was like kid friendly. Um and it changed pretty quickly. My mom did not like shy away from teaching us like adult-ish things, right? But when I was a kid, it was the Beatles' number 1 album. So this is for those who don't know, it's like an anthology of like all the best Beatles songs. I
It's the
was
best album out there.
I was obsessed with the Beatles as a child. Like, it went far into middle school, a little into high school, but like I loved the Beatles. My grandma on my dad's side and I would talk about how George Harrison was the best Beatle. We loved him so much. My mom got me when I was in like 5th grade, she got me this gigantic like collectible thing from the Beatles that has like, copies of old posters from shows from like things like Woodstock, like photos from the Ed Sullivan show and like tickets to their shows and like all this cool stuff. And I used to have it on my wall. It was like a
Mhm.
huge ode to the Beatles. I loved them so much growing up. Um my parents found John Mayer. My dad picked up a promotional CD for John Mayer's Room for Squares in 2001. For those of you who do not know this album, it is the one that has Your Body is a Wonderland. I don't know if it's his debut album. I feel like it is. But there is a song off of here. It is the last track. It's called St. Patrick's Day. I still listen to that song every year. Like it I go back to it every once in a while. I love it so much. It's such like a he was considered top 40 like adult contemporary, I guess. Uh
Mhm.
but I loved him. And like my mom played a bunch of other stuff like Michael Bublé and
Michael Bublé
mm,
slaps, I don't care what anyone says. Any
yes.
time of the year.
Yeah, so we would listen to like Michael Bublé, we would listen to like Train, or Five for Fighting. But
The Foo
John Mayer was
Fighters.
like it for me. I loved John Mayer. Hilary Duff, Metamorphosis, banger. I was a fan of Lizzie McGuire, so naturally when she came out with an album, on repeat.
Mhm.
Digimon the movie, banger soundtrack. This is I'm pretty
Digimon
sure
period banger.
correct. I'm pretty sure that this soundtrack is what inspired my later years of music, but we'll get to that in later slides. Britney Spears, Baby One More Time, banger. Best song from her, Lucky. Love that song. Trisha Yearwood, This Is the Only Time You Are Going to See Country anywhere on my slideshow. Trisha Yearwood has a song called She's in Love with a Boy. It's the first album or the first song on this album. My mother played this album for me so often on tape cassette because I'm that old. Um and I was in love with She's in Love with a Boy, and then there was a song called Walk Away Joe. Oh, and is X's and O's the same song? No, X's and O's. Those three songs are like literally when I think back to childhood, like I think of X's and O's. Um I used to love this song. And then of course it was the boy band era when I was a kid, so Millennium and No Strings Attached from Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, incredibly influential albums, of course. Like so such deep meaning, such like such
Mhm.
in-depth lyricism. Loved that. But no, they were just cute boys in a band.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, this was like the stuff my parents played in the car when I was growing up. And then I got a little older and my dad would let me buy albums at Best Buy. And man, everything changed.
Green
um
Day's amazing. I'll
As you
stand by
can
that with
see,
you.
I have the Best Buy trips with my dad and the WWE because the WWE did introduce me to at least two of these bands. The
Mhm.
theme for WrestleMania 22 was I Dare You by Shinedown. I will never forget that because Shinedown quickly became my favorite band. Um, Starting from the top, Stained, Break the Cycle. Stained was also a band that I learned from the WWE, but I think it was adjacent. Like, I think I listened to a band who I found off of like a Reckless Intent CD, and then somebody said, "Oh, you should listen to Stained." So I went and I bought Break the Cycle, amazing album. Good Charlotte and American Idiot by Green Day. The Young and the Hopeless by Good Charlotte. These two albums I were my two first buys at Best Buy. And the crazy thing is, I had no idea what it was going to sound like. The only thing that we could do was pick up a CD, go, this looks interesting, take it into the car, listen to it, hope that we liked it. My family listened to these two albums every single time that we were in the car together. All of us knew all of the words. We all loved these songs. And I just think it's so funny because you have like my mom and dad who are probably in there, if we were like 10, they're probably reaching or into their 40s. And then you have me and my brother who are like 8 and 10 in the back seat. And we're all just going down the street screaming, "Don't want to be an American idiot." And like we were just all into pop punk for a while. um a friend at school introduced me to Bullet for My Valentine. This album was really big for me. It kind of got me into like that harder music. I'm gonna go in reverse order on the bottom row. Jimmy Eat World's Bleed American. I wanted this album so bad because The Middle was on it and I loved the song The Middle. I fell in love with this album. And for those who don't know, because it is a fun fact, I couldn't find it because it was called Bleed American and the radio said it. The radio said that was The Middle off Jimmy Eat World's Bleed American, now out in stores. I tried to go find it months later, blah, blah, blah. They had
Mhm.
changed it because Bleed American came out July of 2001. And then September came around and they were kind of put into a spot where they needed to change the album name. So it became their self titled album. So when I would go in and say, "Do you have Bleed American by Jimmy Eat World?" people would look it up in their system and go, "No, we don't have it." But it was because it was now a self titled album. So this album took me 2 years to get, but I got it. Um,
Hell yeah.
and Simple Plan was a really big band for me when I was younger. It started with Scooby Doo. Um, no, yep, that is how it started. It started with Scooby Doo because they did a song for, I think, Monsters Unleashed.
Mhm.
And I got obsessed with them. And then they did What's New Scooby Doo. And
Mhm.
then yeah, it was just like a done deal. I loved Scooby Doo as a kid, so it was a done deal for me.
Mine for
Shinedown,
Simple Plan, actually, real quick,
yeah.
my favorite song from them is "Welcome to My Life," and it
I
was
love that
my
song.
edgy
Yeah.
song where I
Yeah,
was
that's
feeling
like,
so
"Do you ever
depressed.
feel like breaking down?"
Literally.
Yeah. That's like the people who are like, "Damn, Perfect is such a good song." And I'm like, "Yeah, yep, that's one we all relate to cuz man, parents expect everything of you." Um,
Yep.
but yeah, Shinedown like I said through the WWE. And then Tattoo, I want to take a second to appreciate this. Tattoo's album 200 kilometers an hour in the wrong lane. Um this is a I you guys all know what it is because we've all seen Heated Rivalry at this point. But they are a female duo who were presented to media as lesbians who were ostracized from Russia and therefore created all of this love music and were rebelling and whatnot. I I was friends with a lot of Yugoslavic and Slavic kids growing up. And
Mhm.
so I had this album. It was not in English. It was brought over from Poland by a friend of mine, so it was in Russian. And so
Mhm.
I know like how to sing some of the songs in Russian because I never learned their American versions because I didn't know they existed. Tattoo
Mhm.
was not a band that little kids were listening to in America. It was a band that little kids were listening to in Poland and Ukraine and all of that. So when it was brought over here, not English, I listened to it so much with my best friend at the time. Her name was Patricia. Um, I listened to it with her so much that I picked up at least how to mimic the words in Russian.
Yeah.
And then growing up, at some point, I heard the song, but it was in English, and I was like, "What?
You're like, "What is this
What?"
English trash?"
Somebody covered this in English. Come to find out they had released an English version of it. I had just never heard it. So yeah, that was a big one for me. I was jamming to that. I listened to a lot of foreign music as a kid because I was friends with a lot of foreign kids. Um,
Mhm.
and I don't mean like kids from different nationalities. I mean like we had a lot of kids who came from other countries at my in my school district. I don't know
Mhm.
why, but it just happened that way. So like my best friends growing up were like Polish, we had a French kid, we had a Romanian kid who I was like so in love with. We had a couple Romanian kids actually. We had uh oh god, a Greek kid, and then I can't remember what his best friend was. But yeah, so we had a lot. So I was exposed to like European pop music as a kid too, and that stuff always ripped. Shout out to my Polish people and Bania Uncygana because that song rips and it will always rip. Um, but yeah, that's kind of where I was. I want to say this is probably in between the ages of like 8 and 11, 12 maybe. And then we kind of slip into I got into middle school, I became an emo kid, and that started my obsession with the AP magazine era. If you don't know what AP magazine is, it stands for alternative press. It was basically just like emo kid music information, right? Like emo's digest, if you will. And pretty much every band was interconnected somehow. But I had a double whammy during my like late middle school career, which was I got really into Christian rock because of my confirmation class. My preacher and my friends from confirmation taught me about Reliant K. And Reliant K led me down a rabbit hole of discovering like other religious rock bands.
Mhm.
So quite a few of them were in the mix, but my top 8 here has gotta be The Black Parade by My Chemical Romance. I'll never forget the day this album came out. It hit the radio, everyone was obsessed. I would go to a roller rink. That roller rink would play nothing but My Chemical Romance. Riot by Paramore. I found Paramore maybe, like, the summer before they really blew up. And my mom hated it at first because the song that I was obsessed with was Crush, Crush, Crush. And there's this
Mhm.
part where Haley Williams is like whispering, she's like, Crush. And my mom hated it because she was like, I don't know why you have to whisper into the mic like that. um, but I loved Haley Williams. Early on, I thought that she was who I basically idolized right after Avril Lavigne. Um, Fall Out Boy from Under the Cork Tree came out. That was huge, especially that and A Fever You Can't Sweat Out by Panic at the Disco both kind of like led into high school for me. It was probably like the summer between 8th grade and high school that I really got into them. But middle of middle school, Cute is What We Aim For, Flyleaf, Philmont, Reliant K. Those were like my top 4. And I was definitely it's so funny because 3 of them are religious rock bands. Then you have Cue is What We Aim For, which is absolutely like the same old Blood Rush with a new touch. This album is so sexual. And I definitely should not have been listening to it, but I was. I mean, granted, so was A
That's
Fever You Can't
amazing.
Sweat Out. Like that album was pretty sexual. So, but we all knew what we were singing. You know, we were like, ooh, bad words, sex stuff. In high school, I started branching out, and this is an ironic thing because I didn't really start branching out. I just got into different versions of alternative music. So, A Day to Remember for those who have heart. The song Monument really got me into them. I loved it, but this whole album was like it was like an oh shit moment for me where I was like, "Oh, music can be like fast and heavy, because like I
Mhm.
was listening to like Stained and like Shinedown, where it's like it's rock music, but it's on the slower side. All of a sudden, oh my god, we're screaming in songs. Oh my god, the drums are blast beats, like whatever. So I started really getting into that. So for those who have heart by Day to Remember, Discovering the Waterfront by Silverstein, huge for me. If Only You Were Lonely by Hawthorne Heights was me not letting go of my emo phase because I just really didn't want like it they were so good and like Ohio is for Lovers is just such a banger. Like it's such a good song. Um Started getting into Alice in Chains. I got into a lot of grunge music, like we're talking Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, Nirvana, Soundgarden, like that whole era of like 90s music. I was so into it. Blink 182 became my favorite band my freshman year of high school. I listened to nothing but Blink 182 for like 80% of my high school career. Periphery was a band that I got into near the end of my first year of high school. They are a gent metal band, like
Hmm.
prog metal. So they have like they like palm mute their guitar in a way that it almost arpeggiates it, and it's very very cool. But they were a huge one. Chiodo's emo band, also kind of screamo. Technically, I got into them in middle school, but it was only like 2 songs. I really got into them in high school. And then the Smashing Pumpkins. My best friend from 4th and 5th grade, we were sent to separate middle schools and we came back together in high school. Her name is Melissa. I love her to death. My favorite person in the entire planet. Um, she introduced me to the Smashing Pumpkins my freshman year of high school. The other 20%, when I wasn't listening to Blink 182, I was listening to the Smashing Pumpkins. Me and her actually went to go see them right before Christmas in 2008. This is why I was like in 2008 you were still in elementary school because I was like going to see concerts in the city.
Yeah, it was
um
just this little baby cow.
yeah, I mean I was still kind of a baby. I was 14, but
Yeah.
um But yeah, so we went to go see the Smashing Pumpkins, and that kind of introduced me to live music, which I like couldn't get enough of after that. I had only been to one concert before with my mom in Roanoke, Virginia to see Hilary Duff. And it was fun, but also like I was a child. So that was my first like I guess concert in which I was like a fully conscious like kind of adult who could enjoy the music.
Mhm.
And yeah, they left an impression on me. Um the end of high school we kind of went back into our old habits and we just stuck to one genre. I don't know if by looking at this if you can tell what genre it is. Um but I will give you a hint. It's one of your big no's.
Screamo?
Yeah, it's all screamo. Um,
Yeah.
Color Morale. We All Have Demons is their first album. It's their religious album. Um, they have since said, "Yeah, fuck that." Um, and they don't really play it anymore at live shows, but it will always hold such a special place in my heart. 2011, May 27th, I went to go see these guys live. Previously, I had had a paratonsil abscess and I had to get my tonsils removed while awake. The entire time I listened to them and it got me through it. And I told Garrett, the vocalist of the Color Morale, that. And since that day, we have been good friends. And I will always appreciate him for that. We definitely we don't talk on a daily basis or anything, but like the mutual support will always be there. And I love that guy so much. He changed my life in a way that I don't think he'll ever realize just by encouraging me to chase my dreams and to like follow where my heart takes me rather than listening to everyone who tells me I should be practical. And so I have so much love for that band. They were everyone knew me as the girl who was obsessed with the Color Morale in high school like towards the last 2 years. They were just everything to me. Um but I did listen to a lot of other bands, such as Of Mice and Men, their self titled album. I think it was self titled. I can't really remember, but whatever this album was, it was incredible. Stand Up and Scream from Asking Alexandria. Honestly, kind of a shitty album, but I was obsessed with it. I see 3D
What a
by Icy
comment.
Stars. Honestly, kind of the same thing. Quality fucking terrible. Music amazing. Seeing them live amazing. In Fear and Faith, Your World on Fire. These guys were a pirate themed screamo band. I loved them. Um Devil Wears Prada. This album is called With Roots Above and Branches Below. I wouldn't say that I was a huge Devil Wears Prada fan back then. I am now. But I don't think back then I was a huge fan. I think I listened to them a lot because my friends did. But still, like, it holds really special memories for me. So I'll keep them on there. Um,
Yeah.
Count Your Blessings by Bring Me the Horizon. This was probably the heaviest album that I was listening to at the time.
I love Bring Me the Horizon.
Me too. You would not like this Bring Me the Horizon, but Bring Me the Horizon
No.
now is very, very good. And they
Yeah.
changed their sound a lot. I will always love this sound, but this is the only album from their old days that I really like. Um, the one the one before it. Oh no, the one after it is my all-time favorite, but only because of some of the songs on it. This one I actually liked the whole album. Like I wouldn't say I was in love with it, but I liked it all. The one after it, I was in love with like 3 songs, but I didn't like the whole album. Um
Mhm.
and then Sleeping with Sirens with Ears to See and Eyes to Hear. I always fuck that up. They were kind of like it's Kellen Quinn. He has a super whiny voice. They weren't super screamy. Uh and truthfully their screams weren't that great. But they've found a rhythm because their next album slapped. I call this the stomp clap hay phase. Uh because most of these bands were the bands that, you would hear like a whole bunch of people clapping and like the Lumineers or the ho and then everyone would clap
Yeah.
it hey it was very much like a phase of that music that I liked, but I had some others in there. So Freelance Whales, Weather Vanes, it's a weird ass album. I loved Freelance Whales, but they were very much on that, like, they sounded like they were straight out of Portland. Um, they're just weird, and I liked them. Naked and Famous was like, man, they were like two shifts of a genre away from being of Monsters and Men, but they had kind of this more like poppy electro sound to them. So I liked them. That album, which I think is that yeah, Passive Me, Aggressive You. It has a song on it called Girls Like You, I think. It's
Mhm.
been so long. But that song I loved, and I showed everybody that song. Crystal Castles, they are Witch House. This this album I think is called Crystal Castles. I think it's their first self-titled because they have Crystal Castles and then 2 and 3 because they just never actually named their albums. I believe this is their first one. I smoked a lot of weed after high school, and
Uh-huh.
listening to Crystal Castles while I was stoned was really fun. That's why they're on here, if we're being honest. Um, Gossamer by Passion Pit, banger. Sleepyhead is a banger song. I don't care what you say. I know it's annoying. I love it. The Lumineers, I think this is a self-titled album. So good. I don't give a shit about what anyone says. The Lumineers and Mumford and Sons, I will go back and jam the hell out of them for the rest of my life. I love them.
I
Um,
forget about that band, Mumford& and Sons. You
Mumford
just
and
said that, and I was like, "Oh
Sons,
my
dude,
god."
Mumford and Sons, Sigh No More has got to be in my top 10 albums of all time. I think that album's perfect. There's not a single song that I dislike. It all sounds cohesive but different enough for me to be interested. Marcus Oliver Johnston Mumford's voice is actual perfection. And if
Mhm.
he weren't, I'm pretty sure, married and in a beautiful committed relationship, I would shoot my shot. I think he is perfect. Um, but I love them. Churches, The Bones of What You Believe. This is a great album. If I could trade anything to hear The Mother We Share for the first time again, I would. It makes me so happy when people say they don't know that song and I get to show them. It's such a beautiful, like euphoric song. And then
Mhm.
the Yvette Brothers, I in Love and You. That's just an indie album that I really liked. Like I loved that album so much. Yvette Brothers are like two guys and, an indie guitar riff, but it's great. They have a song on there called Head Full of Doubt. I would highly recommend checking it out if you like indie music. It's probably like a staple of my journey through indie music. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, this would have been right after high school. Probably the first half of the summer. The second half of the summer into my first year of college was the punk phase. Um, yeah. I it was also like my shoegazy like ska phase for sure, but it was mostly
Mhm.
punk music. I don't know what happened here. Like I
I
avoided I
know.
avoided punk music through all of the Tony Hawk Pro Skater games, even though they were all in there. I avoided it through the Digimon soundtrack, which had ska and punk on it. Actually, one of these bands had a song off of the album on the Digimon movie soundtrack. But something happened, and I got into punk music and I got into shoegaze music, and so all I was listening to was Saturday Night by the Misfits off of their album Famous Monsters, Ball and Chain off of Social Distortion's self titled album, any song off of Punk and Drublic by NoFX, Point Counterpoint by Streetlight Manifesto off Everything Goes Numb, Enjoy the Silence by Depeche Mode off of Violator, any song off of London Calling by The Clash, any song off of Wish by The Cure, and any song off of Hello Rockview by Less Than Jake. That was my entire life for about 2 years.
Solid,
Yeah.
solid.
And I mean, granted, there were other bands I was listening to. Like, I was listening to The Descendants, to Adolescents, like Fugazi, all of that. But like these were my main jams. One band that carried through all the way to when I went down to college out in Chicago was Rancid. And that is why they are on this slide and not the previous one. This slide is entitled I went to an art school for 3 years because none of these albums match the other at all.
Mhm. Yeah.
American Football, staple Midwest emo band. Please remember that because the next slide it will make sense. Rancid, hella classic punk band. Modest Mouse, specifically We Were Dead Before the Ship Even Sank, incredibly experimental, like kind of California emo band. Beartooth, disgustingly thrashy post hardcore band.
Beartooth
Hosier,
is awesome.
Beartooth is fucking sick. Hosier, we know who this guy is. Take Me to Church.
Yeah, yeah.
Black Bear, I don't fucking care. At the point that I started listening to Black Bear, he had like 3 songs, and me and B-Row were gonna go see him for like, I don't know, 13, $14. And
Yeah.
we said, nah, we'll catch him on the next time around. And the next time he came around, he costed $230 to go see.
Yep.
Yeah.
You missed it.
Yeah.
Dang
Tears
it.
for Fears, song from the Big Chair. I don't know what got me into Tears for Fears in college. I just did. I really liked them in college. Like, I was listening to Head Over Heels to start my day. Don't know why, just was. Um, but yeah, and then Absent Sounds by a band called From Indian Lakes, which was honestly 2014 to 2015, that winter period, like in between the 2 years. From Indian Lakes was my entire personality. I I listened to nothing but this album and their other album that was out at the time, and then they released a new one which got like a little more weird, and I got obsessed with that one, but nothing quite like this album. Um so yeah, that was like the beginning of my art school experience. And then the last year and a half maybe, I got really into Midwest emo.
Mhm.
And I mean like real, like I think I know every Midwestern emo band. But these are a few of my favorites and the branches that they extended. For those who don't know, Midwestern emo is a uh, how do you categorize it? Bad, shitty vocals sometimes, but like that's the charm of them because they can still sing. It's just that they have voice cracks intentionally, and they're kind of like on the like, underproduced side, but like that's what makes it so great. They almost sound like live vocals. It's awesome.
Mhm.
Super sad music, complex guitars, simple drums. They focus way more on like emitting the feeling and then they do like really making much sense. It's a perfect genre if we're being honest. But here's some of my favorite albums from Midwestern emo's subgenre. The Albatross by Foxing, great album. I don't think I can pick a favorite off of it. If we're being honest, just listen to the whole damn thing. Intersections by Into It Over It. The Shaking of Leaves is my favorite song. I just think it's a very that's the one that I was singing when I was getting ready for this or whatever. Um it's got this little section where it's just everybody going whoa, whoa, whoa. And for some reason
Whoa,
it's like
whoa,
very
whoa.
appealing to me of them just singing whoa on like an upscale. I don't know why, but it's a great song. Um you Blew It and their album Grow Up Dude. There's a song on here called The 50s. It's a very somber song. I love it a whole lot. I'm going to save this next band for last, so going to the second row. This first photo is the this couch is full or long and full of friendship by Tiny Moving Parts. My favorite song off of this is Dakota. Um they are a little on the rougher vocal side. The guy screams the whole time, but like it's very enunciated. Like it's like he's got a rasp to his voice. He's not necessarily screaming. It's like kind of like a half step into it. Um but they're really good. They have a lot of melodic guitars. I like them. The Front
Mhm.
Bottoms, Talon of the Hawk, Twin Size Mattress is my favorite song off of this. I just think it's a phenomenal album. I'm going to give an honorable mention to the band Dads and their album
Okay.
American Radass. Shit Twins is my favorite song off of that album, followed closely by A Big Bag of Sandwiches. I only knocked them off of this list because I didn't listen to that full album. And I did listen to the full album of All Get Outs this season. The title track on this album, The Season, is my favorite song. It's well worth a check out. And then the next band, the Cardboard Swords, and their album Remnants. There is a song on this album called Flannel, and it is half a song and half a spoken word poem, and it is very unique and very, very cool. The album in the top right is an album called Harmlessness, and it is by a band called, I'm not kidding, The World is a Beautiful Place, and I Am No Longer Afraid to Die.
Wow.
Yes. And there is a song on there called July 10th that is phenomenal. The whole album is great, but that song is just incredible. Those 9 to 10 songs are probably, if this was around when I was making mix CDs, I would put those on a CD, I would slap a Sharpie marker onto it and write the words sad forever, and then that would be what plays in my car every day on the way home from work. I love Midwest emo. But yeah, I had a
Hell yeah.
huge phase where this is all I was listening to. Um I'm not going to go into great detail, but after that I did go into the K-pop era, and I should call this like the Southeast Asia era because I was also listening to a lot of J-rock and C-pop, but like
Mhm.
more than anything else it was K-pop. And I'm not going to go through everything, but Wings by BTS, The Connect by Monsta X, skip for now, Miro by Stray Kids, Treasure by ATEEZ, Regular Irregular by NCT, I Made by G Idol, Ballads by Joji. Those were like my music taste during the year after college. Um Ghost, that's Meliora by Ghost. I don't know why they slipped through the cracks. They just kind of did. Like I wasn't really listening to anything besides K-pop, and then for some reason Ghost. And I don't know how to explain that, but I went back to like my 2017 Wrapped, and this is what was on it, was just all of these guys. And so I was like, where did Ghost come from? Was I that into it? Um
Must have.
but yeah, this is kind of like what rounded out what I believe to be like my developmental years for my music taste. Because I
Mhm.
don't think I go scouting for new genres much anymore. I kind of just dig deeper into the genres I already like. So
Mhm.
you're about to see a slide that is going to look very similar to the slide where I went to an art school because my current day music taste is all over the place. um this first album, Rufus Du Soul's Bloom. This is a house music artist. He is probably my favorite EDM artist. I love him so much. He makes very chill, like almost euphoric, like your typical house beats. But he's got something to him that's like super creative and like very like it's slow music, but it makes you like very hyped up. I don't know how else to
Mhm.
explain it. This Place Will Become Your Tomb by Sleep Token. I discovered Sleep Token a few years ago. I think they're always just going to be a band that I have
Sleep
on.
Token is a banger,
They're
period.
amazing. And this album is so perfect. The first track off of it, Atlantic, I sing that shit on a daily basis. Um, this next one, that is a painting of the album. I couldn't find who did it. I just thought it looked stunning the way it's like vectored out. But that's Death
Mhm.
of a Piece of Mind by Bad Omens. Bad Omens is another band that I think is just a banger and they'll just always be on in the background.
I agree.
Short and Sweet by Sabrina Carpenter, Say No More. Uh, Debbie tirama fotos de cuando. Bad Bunny. For obvious reasons. I just love Bad Bunny so much. I think like as far as Latin music goes, I've always had an appreciation for it, but I've never quite known where to get started. Bad Bunny cured that for me because everybody was in the Bad Bunny, and I had a very good friend of mine who I worked with. He was from Ecuador, and he introduced me to Bad Bunny, and then he said, "Oh, we're gonna get you into all the big Latin artists." And so that kind of gatewayed me into I have a big appreciation for Latin artists. This next album, The Two Circles, that's an album called Alaska Baby by Cesar Cremonini. I think I can never pronounce his last name and it's not in front of me to try. But he's an Italian artist. He does like Italian pop music and it's like he's got a very like typical pop sound, but his voice is so good. The next one I could not tell you how to pronounce the name or the album name. It's a Russian duo with a guitar. I like them a whole bunch. I don't really know anything about them. I know they were just on tour. I actually think they're Ukrainian. Just found that out for me actually. Uh,
Mhm.
but they're incredible. I There's a song that they have called Soldat, which means soldier. Um,
Yeah.
it's an incredible song. They're kind of on the weird side. They have super soulful voices. They harmonize real well. Love them. And then lastly, I have to give a shout out to my girl Sade because Diamond Life is the birth of Smooth Operator, and that song is my anthem. So yeah, that is that's all I got for you.
That's crazy, bro.
It's like it's so funny to me because we have similar like pieces, but we're so different.
Yeah, I was about to say the same. I think it's insane that, like, number 1, I wasn't anticipating your, vast array of
Of genres.
foreign music.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I knew emo music was gonna be somewhere in there, some screamo, some, like, something along those lines. That's what I
Yeah.
was expecting. But then you kept on throwing out a lot of foreign bands and, like, I had an idea that you liked foreign languages, so that
Mhm.
music's not far off from it and it's a nice like gateway into like the language itself.
Yeah.
So, I thought that was really shocking in like a positive way. Like I was like, "Oh my god, that's so interesting."
Yeah, I
I
was
loved
gonna
it.
say because I feel like there's definitely some English music, of course, but then also like
Yeah.
because the punk bands are primarily from like England or whatever. But yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely from a young age, like I was enjoying, one of my honorable mentions is probably French DJ duo, M83. I listened to them
Uh-huh.
a lot in high school. Um, One of my favorite songs by them actually was fully in French. And then there was a band called I wanted to put them on here and I couldn't remember their name, but they had an entire French album that was based off of what the Cuckoo Clock Heart or something, and I think they were called Dionysus, but they sang in
Mhm.
full French and I fucking loved them.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think that's what got me into languages was music.
Mhm.
Like hearing
It's
people
an
sing in
easy way to get
different
right into it, so
yeah,
that totally makes sense.
hearing people sing in different languages because I think having the early I mean all of my friends spoke different languages growing up and I didn't.
Yeah,
So I always wanted to learn one. So I tried to learn Polish and that
exactly.
did not go well. Um and then yeah, at some point I just started picking up languages and like I think I consider myself very lucky to have had that early on because I know there's a lot of people who can't listen to foreign language music because they don't understand it. And I
Uh-huh.
think that's fair, but that's almost why I like it is because somehow I'm getting the vibe that you're putting out regardless of not being able
Without
to
knowing your
understand it.
words.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. That's why I think I gravitated to K-pop once I figured out, like, the genre itself.
Yeah.
Because I was also learning a bunch of different languages in high school as well, so I was just like, "Well, this is kinda cool, like, I don't need to know the words to enjoy the music," so
Yeah.
that's why I enjoy it so much.
Can I tell you something funny about my Spotify?
What?
I have a playlist. It's called Polyglot and
Uh-huh.
it is a song. Every single song on there is a different language and it's just all of my favorite like foreign language songs. It's not everyone because there's a couple Italian, couple Ukrainian, couple
Yeah,
German,
but a
but
bunch of different languages in
yeah,
one.
it's definitely like like I have like some Turkish, I have someone from Azerbaijan on here. Italy, Serbia, like I love foreign language and foreign music. I like how different it is vocally, but I also like how different it is instrumentally.
Yeah,
Like
that's
it's just
true.
so cool to see the instruments that are utilized commonly in other countries. So I'm just a music nerd altogether, but
I love them. I love learning about it. This was so much fun.
I know this was a lot of fun. I was waiting for this one. I was very excited for it.
Yeah, we kept putting it off. We had this idea ages ago, but we
Mhm.
were like, "Ah, number one, we had 3 fucking episodes of League, so we had to get
Yeah.
through there." But it just we kept putting it off because we wanted it to fall naturally, but we had things to cover first.
Yeah, we
But I'm
wanted to
glad we
make
did.
sure
This was a
that
lot.
we had enough time to really dive deep into our musical past. So,
Yeah,
hopefully you
that's
guys
true.
enjoyed it. Maybe you even picked up a new song or two to look up.
Yeah.
I know
Or
I'm
just full albums.
excited.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
I'm excited to show you some stuff after this. So,
Yeah, I already have 3 songs pulled up for you, so I got it
oh,
ready.
fuck yeah. I gotta go through my PowerPoint to figure out. Do you remember which artist I was gonna show you?
No, but we could just rewatch the VOD back.
Hell yeah, okay.
Well, remember
um,
Cubbies, all that jazz will be on YouTube, and then you can rewatch older episodes on
mm,
Spotify. And if you have any questions or you want to talk about music, like on topic stuff, you could go ahead, head to our Discord, go head out and check out there. Um I don't believe me and Veda spoke in regards to what next episode is gonna be, but that's not coming to you till July 14th. So
yeah,
we got
there's
2
time.
weeks of stuff to bottle up for you guys. So I think it might
Yo,
just be a yap sesh.
probably. That's what I would bet on.
Yeah. So just bet on that, guys. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, night, evening,
Hmm.
daytime, whatever time zone it is for you guys. Thank you guys so much for hanging out, and thank you, Veda, for sharing for your
Thank you
awesome
for
music.
sharing.
Yeah, I feel like we had a lot of fun with this one because we
Yeah,
both
I
love
think so
music a
too.
lot.
And we love learning about each other in ways that we
Yeah.
haven't before, so
Well, remember, Cubbies, to keep
keep
it
it
real,
real, but
but
keep it
keep it
curious.
curious.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.